What's the best way to strength train for outdoor activity performance? Watch this.
Our next caller is Katie from Colorado.
Hey, Katie, how can we help you?
Hi, guys. Like everyone, I just want to thank you for all the content you put out. I look forward to it every day. I'm a 30-year-old female in Colorado, walk a couple miles a day with my dog and lift 2 to 3 times per week. But I also like doing a lot of outdoor activities, like either after work or on the weekends, backcountry hunting, backcountry skiing, mountain biking, all kinds of stuff. And my question is how to train to get the best bang for my buck for both endurance and strength. I know I'll never be as good as I could be at either one of those while trying to do both. But, I need a lot of endurance for a lot of these things I do. But once I get there, if we're hunting and we're, 5 miles back, it's going to take me a lot of time to get there. And I want to be able to keep up with everybody. But once I'm there, I also want to be functional and have the strength to actually participate in what I'm doing once I get there. So I guess my question is just how to train to maximize both while keeping them in balance, while understanding that I'll never be the best at either one, because I do want some of each.
Well, you're good. I'm glad you positioned it that way, but really what you're looking for, Katie, is to be the best at the things you enjoy doing the most, right? Which you can do.
Yes.
So it's not what you do requires a combination of things, strength, mobility, and endurance. So we can train you, or you can train yourself to be your best version for that.
I have a question. When you are doing like the backpacking or these days that we're referring to, that like you want to have that endurance, give me kind of a little, like, how long are you hiking for? Is it like is it a long old hike where it takes, days, or is it like hours? Like how long, like how many miles? Like give me an idea of like, because how I would program your endurance training within like a program like MAPS Performance would be dictated by how long of a gas tank I need you to have. Like training someone who wants to be an ultra marathon runner versus someone who just needs to do like a strong 5-10 mile hike is different, right?
Sure. It'd range from, an hour or two out on backcountry skis to maybe a week-long trip for like hunting. But I definitely wouldn't say it's on the order of like ultra marathoning. I don't need to be going constantly for, days at a time. It would be probably up to about 5 to 8 hours of hiking at any given time before I'm stopping and resting for a bit.
Okay.
Well, so I'm going to give you a general answer, and then I'll get a little bit more specific. So generally speaking, to get the core of your training should be those things that you enjoy doing. So in other words, the majority of the time that you spend exercising should be spent backpacking, hiking, cross-country skiing, all the things that you enjoy doing. And then you want to use strength training as a way to supplement. And generally speaking, if you want good functionality, quote unquote, and I do that in quotes because that's such a big umbrella term. But if you want good functionality, then you need to be good at overhead pressing, rowing, pressing horizontally, squatting, lunging, and rotating. So think of those as your core kind of movements. And then within those, if you look at those movements that I just listed, right? So overhead pressing, horizontal pressing, rowing, squatting, lunging, and rotating. So six movement patterns. If you look at all of those, there's a lot of exercises that kind of follow or fit underneath each of those categories. So that's going to be general. Okay, let me get a little bit more specific. MAPS Performance would be great for you. MAPS Symmetry would probably be great for you.
Especially because in phase 4 too, it has like deliberately those like movements that would probably pair best to you, and it's in a very simplistic layout.
Totally. And then MAPS Cardio. Those would be the 3 programs that I would pull from. Now, the only one that allows for, in its programming, it allows for you to do these long hikes and runs and all that stuff, because the others you'd have to kind of modify.
Cardio.
Is MAPS Cardio. MAPS Cardio we actually designed for people who like to go out twice a week and do...
Someone like her.
Right. So you could take MAPS Cardio and just plug in what you normally do, and the programming's already set up. If you did MAPS Performance, I would take out workouts. I would do like 1 foundational workout or 2 foundational workouts. And same thing with MAPS Symmetry. So, but those would be the 3 programs to pull from.
Do you have any of those, Katie?
No, I have Anabolic. I just started Anabolic, and that's the only one I have so far.
Okay.
So I say we give her cardio because that one is the most practical for what she's trying to do.
Yes.
And then my recommendation would be to later on maybe get Symmetry.
Yeah,
and
I'd look at
Performance.
Symmetry later, yeah.
And then right now with MAPS Anabolic, Katie, what you can do is I would do, I'm assuming twice, at least two days a week, you're doing some of this other stuff, right?
Yeah, usually probably 2 to 3 times a week on average, I'll do something that's a little bit more cardio related.
Okay. 1 to 2 foundational workouts a week. That's what you're going to do with MAPS Anabolic, not 3. I know
Okay.
there's an advanced version for 3, but I would do the 1 or 2 and keep it there, and you're still going to get some great benefits, especially if you're relatively new to that kind of strength training. And then after that, do cardio.
And the way you decide that is based off of the activities you're going to do that
Correct.
week. So if you,
Yes.
because you set a range of like, 2 to 3 times a week, I do some of these more cardio or endurance based things outdoors. That would be how I dictate whether I did 1 day that week of strength training or 2 days that week. So you might have a week where you're like, you know what, I'm only going to go on 1 or 2 hikes this week. It's raining outside or whatever, and I'm going to stay in. So that week, go ahead and train 2 times foundational days. Other times you might be, oh my God, it's a beautiful week. I want to get out as much as I can this week, and you're going to go out and do more outdoor indoor stuff. Scale back to 1 foundational day. So you
Right.
can actually play with that week to week based off of the other things that you're doing.
Right.
Okay. And if I am only doing like 1 day that week because I'm doing some other activities, would you just fill in like another trigger session on that day, or just do mobility, or just something that feels good?
You can actually do-
like, what would you do on that day?
You can do trigger or mobility
Yeah.
sessions whenever you want.
Pretty much whenever.
If they feel good,
Yeah.
regardless of how much you're working out. But if you only do one like
Keep the
activity,
intensity low is all.
yeah, there you go. Keep the intensity low. But if you're doing like if you only did 1 hike the whole week or whatever, then you could do the 2 strength training workouts that week. That's when I would do 2.
Got it.
All right.
Great. Well, thank you. I look forward to trying this out and see what the results are.
You
Yep.
got it.
Sweet.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye. You know what's interesting? I'm going to give Katie a compliment. I'm sure you guys can see this too. This isn't always true, but because we've been doing this so long, I can look at someone and look at their face, and I can almost always tell, not always, I can often tell what kind of sport or athletic or type of training they do. And she has that healthy, I do outdoor activity look. I could tell.
Very outdoorsy.
Yeah, but she has that healthy, like, I like to do that kind of stuff. No, it's a good question.
Get sun.
It's a really good question because balancing the two is so important. But I think that the gist of it is the thing that you want to get better at or be good at is what you need to do the most. That's the bottom line. Not the other stuff. The other stuff is just to supplement it.
Well, I think it's easy to confuse strength training as like, oh, I need to always be trying to get stronger in the gym in
Yeah.
order for it. But really, when your passion is around these things, strength training is there to complement
Totally.
those things. It's not, and it complements it by you scaling it back on the intensity and adjusting it around the things you love to do, not by pushing harder in their thing. But the thought, and I know what people think, it's like, oh man, if I get stronger in the gym, then I'm going to be more muscular and I'll be better at these things. And so they end up pushing too much in the gym, trying to increase strength in there. And then it ends up hindering the thing that they love so much. And it's like, no, your focus is around the stuff you love. Let the training, and you're always better off leaning on the side of probably less is better with
Totally.
the strength training, and then inching your way up with maybe a little bit more, or maybe I'll try to be a little more intense this week versus like, I'm going to follow this intense strength training program. And then I'm also going to try and do all my hikes and the things that I love to do. It's like, it's the kind of a reverse thought.